Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to be making some cards today with some of my favorite things, butterflies. So let's jump right in and let's make some fluttering fun cards. We're going to be doing some foiling, so I want to go ahead and turn our hot pink mini ink machine on to number 3. That's what we do most of our foiling with our foilables and our cheer foils. I've already had it turned on in the back, so we just needed to turn it to number 3. I've got my clear transfer folder ready. Our first card is going to be super sweet and simple, very simple but very cute card. We're going to be using some of our penny copper cheer foil, and we're going to be foiling this sentiment, "Have a beautiful day." It is from our butterflies cut-ups, foilable cut-ups. So if you have tried those before, you know that they are a bunch of butterflies and sentiments that are already pre-cut for you, ready to foil and add to your cards. So we're going to foil that sentiment. I have also die cut with our stitch circle dies this green piece of glitter paper. I thought that would really make that sentiment pop off our background. Got our little butterfly here. This is from the Butterfly Friends stamp set. So cute. It's got teal and green in the wings. So I've got a nice turquoise background here with the green glitter. I think everything pulls together so nicely. This is our Riverwalk cardstock. It's a beautiful teal or turquoise. And I've run it through with our Pretty Butterflies embossing folder. So if you can see that texture on the camera, it's got that nice butterflies pattern in the background, just to add a little extra texture to the card. We really could use either side, the embossed or the debossed. We're going to be putting all of this onto an A2 size card. This is our Pebble 100-pound cardstock. It's kind of a craft color or tan. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere our embossed panel down. I'm using our Easy Squeeze craft glue, and it's actually a little bit new formula. There's our card so far. Now let's foil our sentiment piece. The first thing I want to do is just kind of dust it off and dust the back of the foil. You just don't want any dust or debris or pet hairs to get in between your foilable and your foil. Into our transfer folder it goes. I put the foilable with the design facing up, and then the foil goes on top, pretty side up. And we put it slowly and carefully into the ink machine, flat, straight, and even in the opening. And then just let the machine grab it and pull it through. I always like to support it here at the end, just so it doesn't have a tendency to want to go up or down inside the machine. We want it to go nice and even through. Once we pull it from the back of the machine, we want to let it cool down before we do what I call the peel and reveal. It's my favorite part, but you want it to be cool to the touch. The reason you want it to be cool to the touch is you don't want to interfere with that bond the foil is creating with the toner printed design. And while it's hot, it's still forming that bond and sticking together. You let it cool down, then you can peel that foil piece away, and you have a beautiful foiled design. Never throw your negative foil piece away. See that "Have a beautiful day" is right in there. We can foil that onto a solid toner sheet, and we'll be doing that in just a bit so I can show you how it's done. Now we're going to adhere our foiled sentiment down to the glitter paper. Once we have our foil piece adhered, we can adhere the circle down to the card. I'm going to put it a little towards the top and right in the center. And the last thing to do for this card is just to add our little butterfly friend. Like I said, it's super sweet, super simple, just makes a really adorable card. I've added some foam tape to the back of the butterfly just to add a little dimension. So it pops off the card just a little bit. And there we go. Really cute. And I love that texture in the background with that embossed cardstock. And then the foiled sentiment on top just adds the perfect touch. All right, look, we're going to use some of our confetti sequins. These are the flamingo confetti sequins, very pretty pink. And the reason we're using our confetti sequins is because we're going to make a shaker card. So much fun. But first we're going to foil our panel that's going to be our background for our card. These pretty little posy flowers and little leaves. This foilable sheet can be found in our In Bloom foilable kit. I've cut it down to fit on a mini slimline card. So we're going to be making a mini slimline shaker card. Now the foil I'm using on this panel is our ombre pastel. It is beautiful pastel colors, like in an ombre stripe. They all kind of blend together. It's really pretty foil. We've just recently restocked it, as that one sold out fairly quickly. We're going to adhere that little foiled panel onto a piece of our school bus yellow cardstock. And then we have our mini slimline card. What I use for our mini slimline cards is I take one of our pre-cut, pre-scored slimline card, which is 8.5 by 3.5 when folded. I cut 2.5 inches off the top, and I'll use that to stamp sentiments or little characters on for later. But when I cut 2.5 inches off, I'm left with a card that's 6 inches by 3.5 when folded. So it's a perfect mini slimline card size. We'll let our foil piece cool for a second. And the way we're going to create our shaker card is we're going to use one of our full cover shaker covers. This creates a really fun pocket that makes the whole card a shaker card. So we have these shaker covers in A2, a smaller A2 size, mini slimline, and we also have slimline. And they're a really great value. You get 10 in a package. They all cost the same. The slimline costs the same as the A2, is the same as the mini slimline. So they're all a really great value. Before I use the cover, I like to fold back the tabs on the side. They already have adhesive, so they're already ready to go, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about adding adhesive to make your pocket. So I just fold them back just to get that fold started in them. Then we can straighten it back out before we create the pocket. We have to remove the protective cover. There's a protective cover on the front, and I have found the easiest way for me to do that is I take our pick up and place tool and I use the little pokey end. I call it a pokey end because it's like a little pokey tool. I just poke here at the corner until I get that started, and then I can peel it off quite easily. The other end of our pick up and place tool has a wax tip that you can use to pick up sequins or loose pearls and gems. So now our pocket is ready. That protective covering is off, and it just protects it so it has that nice shiny finish when you use it. No scratches or blemishes. So I'm going to take our foiled panel out of the transfer folder. we can do my favorite part. Peel and reveal. Oh, so pretty. Look at those ombre colored flowers. We've got yellows, pinks, purples, blues, teals. Very pretty. So I'm going to adhere this piece to our cardstock, and then we'll make our shaker pocket. When you're cutting your panel for the shaker cover, and I include the measurement on the packaging so you know just what size to cut, you're cutting it just slightly smaller than the finished size. So for a mini slimline, which is 6 by 3.5, we're going to cut it just slightly smaller than that. It's like just a hair smaller. And I don't know the fraction right off the top of my head, but like I said, I've put that information on the packaging so you'll know just how large to cut your panel to go inside the shaker pocket. So now we have our panel ready. We're going to make our shaker pocket that goes on our card. I'm going to clear my table here to make a flat surface, and I'm laying my shaker pocket down on the table so the front of it is on the table, and then I'm going to flip my piece like it's going to go in there, and I center it on the shaker cover. You want to make sure it's centered and where you want it. I'm going to hold it down with one hand. The other hand, I'm going to peel that release paper away. Just want to make sure I get it nice and straight there. While I'm holding it down, I'm going to press one side down. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to keep holding the cardstock down flat to the table. We want it to be nice and flat. So you want to hold it flat to your table as you do this. While I'm holding it flat, I'm just adhering that second side to the paper. And then next we want to do one more side. We're going to do one of the ends. So we're going to do 3 of the ends, or 3 of the sides first. There we go. So now I've done 3 sides. I've left one open here. You want to leave one side open because that creates your pocket. See? And my finger in there. Now we can fill the pocket with whatever you want. So I've got some of our confetti sequins, and we have lots of colors of these. And I'm just going to try to shake some of these in here without making a huge mess. So now you see we have our sequins in our pocket. I'm going to flip it over again. I'm going to hold it down flat. I'm going to seal up the 4th edge, and we're going to have our shaker pocket ready to go. Look at that. These are so fun. I can make a ton of these. They are just so fun. You can shake till your heart's content. Now I want to adhere my shaker pocket to my card front. I'm going to use some of our double-sided easy tear tape. I only have the 1/4 inch here at my table. I would prefer to use the 1/2 inch for this, but this will work just fine also. It's super sticky tape, but I love it because it's easy just to tear by hand. You don't have to have your scissors to tear it. But when adhering these shaker covers to your card base, you want a nice, sturdy, strong adhesive. These pockets add, a bit of weight and a little bit of bulk to your card front. So you want to make sure you have a nice, strong card base. So I'm using our 110-pound card base, but I'm also using a strong adhesive to adhere it. One thing I love about our easy tear tapes also is that the release paper is super easy to peel off from the tape. Even though it's super sticky tape, that release paper just comes off nice and easy. Now we're ready to adhere this to the card. I'm going to stand it up on the table just to help me line it up, because once I stick that tape down, it's going to stick. And I want to get it lined up on my card, and then I'm just going to press really good all around. Just press that tape down so we get good adhesion. There we go. I love those pink sequins in there, highlighting that pink that's in the foil, but then also in our stamp design. So we're not done. We've created a nice little shaker card, but let's put some characters and a sentiment on it. So I need a spot for my characters to sit. Cut out one of our double-stitched dome dies out of our Sunny Sky cardstock, which is this nice light blue. I'm going to adhere that down on the bottom left corner of the card. And then from the Butterfly Friends stamp set, I've stamped, colored, and die cut 2 flowers and the little flower with the butterfly sitting on top. So I'm going to glue those down on this little dome, like so. So it's like a little flower garden there in the corner. I didn't add any foam tape to the back of any of my little images here because I figure I have enough bulk with my shaker pocket that I don't need to add any extra dimension. And I've got the little sentiment that I stamped and then just cut out right around it. It says, "Hello, dear friend." And I'm going to put that right across the bottom of my little flower stems there. So we create like a little vignette with our flowers, our little butterfly friend, and our sentiment. And there is our mini slimline shaker card. Let's shake it up a little. Isn't that cute? I love that. And the little flowers in the background that are foiled just play on the little flowers here in the front, and everything just goes together so nicely. All right, for our next card, we're going to be using our Pretty Wings foilable panels. I love this one. This one is so pretty. You can see that this one, the foil is going to stick anywhere where it's black. So the background of these butterflies is actually going to be foiled. Instead of the images of the butterflies being black to be foiled, which is also in the package, by the way. So you can do it both ways. I give you both the negative and the positive image so that you can get lots of different looks with it. But we're going to foil this one to where the foil is going to be in the background of the butterflies. So we want to dust this off. You especially want to dust off the foilables that have a lot of toner ink or a lot of toner space, where you're going to get a lot of foil going down. So we're going to put our foil pretty side up on that panel. This is our Roy G. Biv foil, and it stands for, Roy G. Biv is the colors of the rainbow. It's a really pretty rainbow foil. All the colors just blend nicely together. We're going to run that through the ink machine. I have an A2 top folding card that I've cut from our Lakeside cardstock. It's a really pretty teal. All right, I'm going to pull it out of the folder, but it's hot, so we're going to let it cool down before we peel and reveal. All right, now that it's cool, let's go. Oh my gosh. Just as I suspected, it's gorgeous. Look at that. We've got that beautiful rainbow foil in the background with the white butterflies just kind of popping off from it. Really nice. Now this foil, I've been telling you, save your negatives. You can use it for another card. So for our next card, we're going to use this foil. Let me move this aside so you can see. Look how the foil has these butterflies still attached. We're going to add those butterflies to a solid toner sheet. But not yet. Let's finish our card that we're working on. So we've got our beautiful butterfly panel. I've cut from our Sunny Sky cardstock one of our stitched arches that I'm just going to put just kind of off to the right here, so we can go ahead and adhere that down. And before we adhered the whole panel down to the card front, I want to add some twine. I love adding twine to cards. Twine and ribbon just add that little extra texture you sometimes need so that it's not just paper on paper. So I've got a few colors of twine here. These are the Pink and Main cotton twine. Let's see, I've got Dress Shop, On the Green, Street Light, and Construction. So we've got pink, green, yellow, and orange. And I'm going to adhere the ends to the back of this panel. So I'm just going to put some double-sided tape runner where I'm going to adhere on the back. The twine and ribbon just stick really quick and easy to that adhesive. And I'm just going to put it right along the bottom of where our arch is. And now we can adhere this panel down to the card front. While I have my tape runner, I'll just go ahead and use that to adhere it down. And here's our card so far. I've got a couple of our butterflies from our Butterfly Friends stamp set. And I've stamped the sentiment and cut it out that says, "Spread your wings." So I'm just going to place them like so. I've got foam adhesive on the back of them just to pop them up off the card a little bit. Adds just a little bit of dimension. I'm going to glue the sentiment down. And add our last little butterfly friend. Just going to have him touching that sentiment piece a little bit, just a little overlapping, because it just kind of draws everything together. Nothing is floating in space, everything's kind of grounded. They're all sitting on that arch piece. You just want to ground your characters to your card. And last but not least is I want to tie a knot in my twine. So I've got some extra twine to tie the knot. I'm going to add a little adhesive on top of the twine that's on the card, and that's just to hold that knot in place right there. I'm going to slide these pieces of twine underneath so I can tie my knot. I'm going to press my knot down into the glue a little bit so it'll stay. And then we just have to cut the excess ends off. Just like so. And then once I have my twine on there, I like to kind of fluff the ends a little bit, just kind of separate them a little bit so they're not so stiff looking and they get a little fuller. So here's our card. I love the foiled background, that added texture of the twine there, and of course our butterfly friends. Super cute. All right, for our last card, I have an A2 card base with our Sunny Sky cardstock. With our scalloped rectangle dies, I've cut this pretty green glitter cardstock from one of our glitter paper packs. I've cut this piece. This is a white toner sheet. So this is one of our white toner sheets. You remember this beautiful foil we have left over, this negative piece left over from the last card? We're going to add this to our white toner sheet. So this is not a piece of white cardstock. You have to have toner printed designs to make the foil stick. This is not going to stick to white cardstock. But this is a white toner printed sheet. I'm going to dust it off. I'm going to put it in our transfer folder, and I'm going to add our negative foil over the top of it. And you're going to be wowed with what we get at the end. So I put the foil on it pretty side up. I'm going to flip it over because I can easily line up that design on the back. I can see the design a little easier around the paper rather than have the busy colors of the foil interfering. And then we're just going to simply run that through our ink machine. While that's running through, I'm going to glue down our green glitter paper to the card front. I'm going to grab our foiled piece. I'm going to turn off the ink machine because we're done with our foiling for the cards today. Okay, we're going to let this cool off. Look, you can already kind of see what it's going to look like, but just wait, just wait. Our solid toner sheets are amazing, I have to say. We have white, we have silver, and we have lots of color varieties for you to use. And they really take using that negative foil to the next level. Whereas before, there's always just been black toner sheets, solid black. So all your negative foils would have to go on a black background. But we've added lots of colored toner sheets. We have ombre colored toner sheets. And like I mentioned, we have white and silver now. So this is our white toner sheet. We're using that negative piece of foil. So we peel the foil off, and look at that. You use the entire piece of foil. There's no waste now. But check this out. You have added foiled butterflies to that white toner sheet. So it's white in the background with the beautiful foiled butterflies on top. People will not believe that you created this yourself. With our foilables, our foil, and our mini ink machine, you really can very easily create beautiful, wow, foiled cards. So we're going to adhere this down to our glitter paper. Look at that. That's beautiful. With that little pop of glitter paper going around the edge, just adds that little special something. Don't be afraid to mix your glitter papers with your foil. They look really good together. And I always say you can never have too much sparkle and shine. The next part of our card we're going to put together is our layered scallops circle dies. So these are really fun. They look kind of weird and bumpy right by themselves. But what happens is you cut two different colors and then you layer them together like so that the scallops are alternating colors. How fun is that? And then it comes with a stitch circle die that fits right on the top. So I'm going to glue these pieces together. We have these fun layered scallop dies, not only in just circles, but we also have them in A2 size and mini slimline size also. So you can create these alternating colored scallops in different size cards. You can just use one layer, so you've got just scallops going around. They're a little separated, but I'm telling you, you cut it out of two colors and then you layer them together and you get a really fun look with these two-tone scallops going around. Now I'm going to glue this down to the card front. And similar to the shaker card we made, I've got the two little flowers. I've just colored them differently with the flower with the butterfly sitting on top. And we're just going to create a little scene on this circle. How cute is that? We've got our little flowers, our butterfly friend, and this beautiful foiled background. The last thing we have to do is to add our sentiment. So I've stamped and cut out, without change, we would have no butterflies. I cut out a little piece of that green glitter paper to go behind it. So I'm going to glue these together. And I think I'll put it right there, the bottom of our little scene. And there we have our fourth card. I love it. I love butterflies. They're some of my favorite things to create with. And this butterfly friends, stamps, and dies are simply adorable. Here are the cards we created. Let's not forget our super sweet and simple first card. Look at that. Love them. Thanks again so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed these cards I've created with our butterfly friends, stamps, dies, and more. You can find all these items at pinkandmain.com or ask your local retailer. And until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.